everyone, welcome. It's Wednesday night. It's better than Coronation Street. You are with me, Bruce Aitchison, your host for Doddie Live, and we have another cracker of a show for you. It is all going off, and I am more excited than ever because she's back. That's right, she's back. Lorraine off the telly will be here very, very soon. But do we have some starters for you? It's going to be a belter. Now, we've got so much going on. Were you on January the 1st getting wet for a Doddie Duke? Tick. I've done the Doddie Duke. Did you roll the coast with John Davidson and his merry band of helpers? Tick. Sorted. No bother. 5K run chasing Jenny Faulkner? Tick. Nailed it. Absolutely. Where were you on Saturday night? You were having a curry night with us. How good were Doogie Vipond and Nick Nairn? The best double act on Saturday Night TV without any shadow of a doubt. Ant and who? Doogie and Nick Nairn from their kitchen. They had to take the batteries out the smoke alarm because it was all going off with the curry night. And well done to the Muckletoon Langham for supplying the hottest chilies Nick Nairn has ever tasted. The two of them are still trying to cool it down a wee bit with some of the sponsors' finest nectar. Brilliant night. Coisty managed to get his Wi-Fi sorted. Hopefully next year it'll be better than the dial-up that he had. It was laugh from start to finish. And then one of the stars of the show was Doc Sean McGrath explaining to us about MND, what's going on, the research, everything that was thrown in there. Yes, Richard Ellis, hashtag Chilligate. We had all sorts going on. The dog was making some smell. You had to be there. And if you weren't there, you can catch up on YouTube and all sorts of other places. So have a look for the curry night. This Saturday, we've got the world in a day. We're going to talk about that with Mark Beaumont, who I think deserves a Doddie medal. The man is so engaged, so involved, so inspirational. Love him, and he's here for a blether. We've got the dog walk coming up soon. We've got the Doddie Cup. We've got Zwifton with Chris Hoy. You people are spoilt during Doddie, and you've been out and about doing lots of good stuff and raising lots of money. How much have we raised? How much have we raised? How far have we travelled? Bonkers. Right, enough of my nonsense. It's time to bring him in. Do you know, backstage, when the man Carl Hogg calls him king, you know that you're in the presence of a unique individual. He's gone south. He's gone south. He's working hard. He's milling around in circles that people like me can only dream of. But let's see what he can remember about his days at Stirling County. He's the one and the only King Kenny Logan. Hello, sir.
How are we doing? Are you well?
I'm very well. Gabby goes away to Italy on a secret mission, and you can't get the Wi-Fi to work.
No. Well, I can't get the Wi-Fi. I got the Wi-Fi working. I love when you turn up and they turn up to fix it and they go great, and then I get a text message from BT to say your Wi-Fi is working. Thanks very much. I'm thinking it's not working. You've not done anything to it. But apart from that, I'm on my phone and we're all ready to go. Looking forward to it.
Loving the hoodie.
Oh, nice, isn't it?
Loving the hoodie.
Very nice. I don't want to this too much, but it's a very good hoodie. It's nice and warm.
And you're flying solo because her indoors is away on a special trip.
She's in a special mission. She will be back on the 3rd, so she'll have done some walking, but she's not had a mobile phone for 2 weeks, so it's been quite quiet around here.
She'll come back with the white glove on to test and see what you've been up to.
I know, exactly. I'll start cleaning on the Tuesday before she comes back.
And you've been getting involved in Doddie. I've seen you out and about with the dog.
Dogs are good. I got a little injury at the start. I'm on the bike now. I'm loving the bike. I've just started doing Swift for the first time in my life. Never done it before. I've got a bit obsessed by it, especially when the German or the Russian comes past me. I'm like, right, I'm not having that. So I get a wee bit, I think I'll just go for a plod and do like 20 miles. I end up doing 15 miles and I'm exhausted because I've been averaging like 250 watts, whatever it would be, and I'm shattered. But I just find it hard. It's a bit like doing a marathon. I'd struggle to do a marathon. I couldn't handle a banana running past me. You know what I mean? So I'd rather not do it.
I love it. So you still got the competitive edge then?
Well, I think you don't realise you have it until you start being in that environment and somebody's coming alongside you and you're like, no way you're getting past me. Like, I just don't like it. It doesn't work well with me. But
So
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying. I went today. I got this new suit for Christmas, and I got it all measured up just after Christmas. And I went 2 weeks ago and final trim. Went today, and he said, "God, I don't think we've done your waistband." And I'm thinking, "Oh God, I've lost a bit of timber." He said, so he goes to his tailor and says to him, "You didn't take Kenny's waistband in." He goes, "We did. We took it in half an inch." He goes, "You couldn't have." I'm going, "I have been doing a wee bit of training." So I've lost a bit of weight, just on the old waistband. So it's been good. It's been good.
Gotta be happy with that.
Yeah, well, Gabby's going to see a difference. She comes back, but like a new bloke.
She's going to be suspicious. That's what she's going to be.
Well, yeah, probably.
So, Doddie, he's obviously a buddy of yours, and you and your company do a huge amount for him. What is it that sparks the inspiration for the big man?
I just think it's him as an individual, isn't it? He touches your heart wherever. I mean, I think right at the start we all said, if Doddie hasn't come across your life, you've not touched a really good. He's a great individual, and when he speaks to you, or I've known him since about 15 or 16, played against him, and I got on really well. And he was a farmer like I was, so it was the same sort of banter and similar sort. He was quite dirty in the pitch. He'd always give you a little cheeky, as you're running past, elbow in the head, and I'm on the wing, like, what are you doing? But he's been a good mate of mine, and like Hoggie's the same, known him for a long, long time. But when he got dealt this hand, it really rocked. It rocked me because I think nobody had been given an illness around me. Like, I didn't know many people had any really bad illnesses, so I think you get to an age in your life, everybody starts to get these illnesses, and you're in that era, that time of life, and it rocked us all. And we did a dinner for him in London, and he said to me, "Nobody's going to turn up." I said, "Doddie, you'll be amazed how many folk are going to turn up." And we had 1,400 people turned up to see Doddie, and we had about 250 rugby players, and it was just phenomenal. And that night was celebrating what he was, and I think that was a catalyst for him to go, right, I can do something about this. I've got support. And it wasn't in Scotland, it was in London. It was a London audience. There was a lot of Scots there, obviously, who come down, and expats, but there was a lot of English people supporting Doddie, and that was the start. And obviously they got the foundation going with Jill, and it's gone from strength to strength. And I'm just glad to be part of the team and try to make a difference.
There's certain people are admired no matter who the opposition is or who, and Doddie's one of them. Although he's a bloody good player, and like you say, he was dirty, he was one of the ones that would change his studs, wasn't he? The ref would come in and check, and then as the ref left, he would change his studs. So he was played seriously, but everybody still loved him, although they wanted to knock him over between the white lines and between the whistles. There was so much more.
He's a great character. And I think just through the last 5 years of M&D, you can just see that his character and his belief that he wants to make a difference. And for him and for other people. It's not about him, it's about everybody else. And he doesn't think about me all the time, he thinks about other people. And I think the great thing now, the foundation is something that has become such a big part of everybody's life around him. And it will find you had Sean McGrath on last week. They'll find something. We just got to try and find it as quick as possible.
Sean McGrath came out with a belter. He said it's not uncurable, it's underfunded.
Yeah, and it's true fact. And I think that's something that we're going to look at this year and try and raise the bar again, because we do need to raise a lot of money to make an impact. And that's one thing that is going to happen this year. We're going to look at things differently. We're going to raise a lot more money. And also, I think the key thing for Doddie, and it is, as we're raising it, we're having fun. Like, we've done this Doddie Aid for the second year. Every weekend there's something happening. You've got Chris Hoy, you've got the dog walk, you've got the rowing, you've got round the world in the day, you've got the curry nights, you've got to listen to Coy's Day. It's just a brilliant, fun thing to do. And, January is all about getting yourself fit, and there's no better way. And I think the great thing about it is, if you just go for a walk, you can feel part of the community. And that's, you don't need to be cycling with Chris Hoy, you can go and do something on your own and think, I'm part of this, I'm making a difference. And I think that's what Doddie brings to it all. You know, he wants people to make a difference.
Yeah, that was one of the side effects I don't think anybody realised last year, was the sense of belonging that people had, even though we were apart. Now, you've known Doddie for a really long time, but you were part of quite a clash between County and Melrose, and you got over the line on, you know, a historic season surrounded by some really good guys. But the battles you had with Melrose, and we'll bring Hoggy in later because no doubt he'll give a cockeyed view.
Hoggy was injured most of the time anyway. Hoggy was injured most of the time.
But you must have relished those. Those were good days, weren't they?
You know, and I would never change what's happened to me. I mean, I love the professional side, but the amateur side, it's Stirling County. I mean, Stirling County was, nobody liked us. We don't care. Border, take you anywhere. So from a point of view of us going down to the Borders, we loved that. I mean, Big Hammy and Jardy and Kevin McKenzie, we just loved that battle, and they loved it. You know, the Melrose boys loved it, and we got tanked some days, we won some days. They had a great team, and we were a team that hadn't won anything. We'd won all the sort of leagues getting there, and of course when we won in '95, it was phenomenal because '94 was it '95, '94, and I'd many great days at Melrose because the Green Yard's a great stadium, and the great thing about it was, you have a real battle and you walk off the pitch, Doddie, Hoggy, whoever, arm around you, brush comes in between your legs, red path, and we're all going for a beer, and that's the brilliant thing about the sport, and it's still a little bit there now. It's still there now. It's a bit more serious, but it's still down the leagues. That's what's happening. And that's something we can never lose. And I love the battles. I loved going down there and winning, and it wasn't so nice when you lost, but also winning up there. I remember one year we were playing them at Stirling County, and Craig Chalmers we got a penalty against us, but Craig Chalmers was on the ground pulling the ball back, and the referee gave it to them, and Chick kicked a goal and won it, and we were going mental because it was Chick that done it, and then Chick denied it all, and then the video came out of seeing Chick going out with the ball. But listen, they had a great club, and I think the saddest thing probably that happened to professionals in the Borders, and also people left the Borders to get work, and it sort of changed the dynamics. But like even just when you were going to the Borders, you always knew if you're playing against Melrose, Gala, whoever, Jed, you know that you're up for a game. And even when we went to Langham, I remember playing Langham and somebody threw a bike at me. I was on the touchline and threw a bike at me.
We'll get Mark Beaumont on later to ask what kind of bike it was.
I went to pick the bike up. The whistle. We just started out. I was going to ride the bike on the touchline, but as I got on the bike, I think Jardy went, "Get off the bike!" I threw the bike to the side because the game sort of kicked off a little bit.
So Kerry Logan has been on the Langham bike. You heard it here first. Craig Hislop for Langham has just messaged in bike ? Because it could well be in a Hislop for Langham, Kenny. It could have been any one of them. There's thousands of them down there.
Yeah,
thousands of them down there. Great part of the world, and good chilies too. Right, Kenny, we've got some awards to give out before we bring in your man Hoggy.
Lovely.
So every week we give creative sponsors finest of genius to people that are inspiring us on social media. So from the south, this lady here got right into curry night. Have a look at this. This is Tina Ambler. Now, Tina's dog is even called Doddie and has the
She
Doddie
didn't cook the dog, did she?
No, she's not for Langham, I think. So Tina Ambler is getting a creative genius for her efforts
well
at
done,
the curry
and
night.
thanks for your support. It really means a lot to us.
Now, the next man that's the winner, and this made me laugh when this got sent through from Team Glasgow, and I would love to think he's watching tonight, but I'm not sure he is. Ken McEwen, what story have you got for us about Ken McEwen?
Ken McEwen, what a legend. Loves the diet. Yeah, I mean, Ken McEwen, can't say enough about him.
He's done so much. Look at the mileage he's done. Get that back. Look at that.
He's clearly lying. He's clearly got somebody else on the bike because there's no way he could do that much miles. No way.
and he's raised over £500. What an
Has he?
absolute star!
What's he been doing
Well,
with? What's he been doing with the rest of his time? Tell him to get to 1,000. We'll give him a crate of beer.
right, okay. So Ken, there's your incentive. You got 1,000 miles to get 12 Genius. Now the Northern Mids. This is one I'm so pleased Northern Mids chose this. This is Glenn McLennan. Now Glenn is pretty much the king of Orkney. He is an absolute superstar involved at the Orkney Rugby Club. And the reason Northern Mid's team is so big is because all the Orkney are members.
It is big, isn't it? It is big. I couldn't believe it.
I'm telling you, the way he's got Orkney motivated is absolutely fantastic.
And
so
you know
Glenn,
what? That's what Doddie's all about, is all finding all these great people that can make a big impact on
have you
this
played
event.
for the Penguins?
Have
you ever played for the Penguins?
Well,
Glenn's a king penguin. He's a king penguin.
Is he?
Never,
that was a long time ago.
Never takes his king penguin blazer off. The boys in Orkney give him a whole load of stick for it because he loves it. But he's an absolute star. Love Glenn. Well done.
Well done, Glenn. Like your support.
Now, we have to put a little caveat on this one because the Edinburgh winner is under 14, so he will not be receiving the Genius.
He can have 10 empty cans. And he can look at them, and when he's 18, we'll fill them up for him.
Look at
well
this.
Done.
So Caleb cycled 34 miles. Jeez. He did 2 laps Arthur Seat and then out to North Berwick. This was with Team Edinburgh. So Davey and Mark and Nashi and these guys.
On a mountain bike too.
Some boy. I tell you what,
that's amazing. What a great achievement.
He must be loaded. He's got the new Scotland kit. That's not
I saw
cheap.
that.
Well done, Caleb. So your mum and dad are going to benefit from getting 12 bottles or cans of Genius. And then the Barbarians, your good lady she scares folk into joining the Babas.
Yeah, well, we need to get her back to scare more folk into it.
Lee McKenzie wanted to join Team Glasgow, but she's too scared of upsetting Gabby Logan.
No, that's fair dues to her. Well, I actually said to her, I'm not leaving Glasgow. And she looked at me and went, I'll leave as soon as I get back to the house. She's like, there's no way. You're not getting me into this and then going away for another team. You are with me. And I'm like, all right, of course I am. So I had to go with the Barbarians.
This is told. So the Babas winner's Elizabeth Davis.
Well done,
Thank
Elizabeth
you,
Davis.
17 km, and that takes her over 300 miles.
Wow, it's amazing. That's a lot of mileage.
It's brilliant, isn't it? People do.
That's a lot of Sudocrem, I'll tell you that right now. I got 2 tubs of it.
I was told baby oil's the way forward.
I think you're in the wrong game. I think we're on the wrong webinar at the moment.
You know too much. You've revealed too much about yourself there. Now, speaking of people, are you a Disney fan or a Pixar fan? Do your kids watch them?
Well, my kids are 16. They watch a bit of Disney.
I know. Have they ever seen the movie Up?
They have, yeah. Up, yeah.
Well, wait till you see this guy that's coming on. It's the old boy for Up. It's the one and the only Carl Hogg. Look at this guy.
Oh my God, he does look like him. What? Hoggy, what you got? Nora Batty's glasses on.
All these are not reading, King. Don't worry about them.
Well, to be honest with you, I can't read, but I've still got the glasses.
Oh, yes.
Glasses. Right, I'm going to ask you something, Hoggy.
Go on.
The other day, I was on Swift, right? And I went past a Carl Hogg.
Not me. Not on Swift.
What are you on?
I'm on a walk bike, but not Swift. Can't afford Swift.
I went past and I waited for half an hour and I thought, it must be Hoggy.
Oh, behave yourself now. We're in serious competition to win the Doddie Cup.
Oh, I know.
So I'm cycling with Dean Ryan, and Dean's decided he's going to win it. R4 is going to win it along with Hodgie and Craig Joyner. I think
you need to get me in for a leg. I'm a sprinter, good at the end.
Hodgie's worried, Hoggy. Hodgie's worried.
Hodgie.
The thing he's most worried about is getting his bike back for Cardiff.
Oh,
fair enough. But you know Hoggy, right? He's not got the power, let's be honest, right? He's not got the long levers. He's got those little legs. Right, they were never the quickest. They could kick goals, to be fair to him, but you got to get them moving fast.
He won a Calcutta Cup single-handed.
He did win it single-handed. Good player. He was a good player, to be fair to him. Good coach, isn't he?
It's all downhill from Murrayfield to Cardiff anyway, so it'll be easy.
That's true enough.
What about that?
Hoggy, before we let the king go away, you have to have the right to respond to some of that Melrose chat.
No, it was as Kenny says, it was good times, isn't it? Early 90s. There was 2 or 3 good sides. Watsonians were up there. Stirling. It was just good crack, and it was, rugby was a little bit more innocent back then. Where I think we trained pretty hard at a level. Certainly at Melrose, we did Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Who was your coach, Jim Telford?
Yeah, tell me about it. Exactly. But as Kenny says, we'd bang 7 shades out each other for 80 minutes, and then we're going to have a beer and a bit of a crack, and we'd stay up at Stirling for an overnight, and then likewise Kenny would stay down in the Borders, and that's what it was all about. And yeah, I think there's still a big place for that in the community game, without a doubt. And see, clearly at professional level now, it is gone to a different sphere, but we should never lose that element of the game at grassroots level.
No, did you see when Exeter Chiefs, Rob Baxter got the boys to go straight into the bar off the pitch and they were in their kit?
Yeah. Sorry, Kenny. I know listening's a skill you haven't quite grasped yet.
He said say something funny, so I thought I was going to come in for you. Help you out.
No, but in all seriousness, that we went to amateur where we had a few beers and a bit of a crack on it, and then it went to professional, and alcohol was this devil and it was banned. And now actually we're getting back to a bit more balance where, having a few beers and a bit of a crack and the camaraderie and the team spirit and team bond that it creates. People now in a professional environment start to recognise the benefits of that. And I think we lost it for the initial part of professional rugby.
I remember at Wasps, we had gone 2 games. We lost 2 games. We didn't really lose many games. We lost 2 in the bounce. And Warren Gatlin's about 11 o'clock, and he gets we're all kitted up, bandaged up, ankles up, boots on. Comes in and goes, right, we're going to the Redback round the corner. We're like, what for? He goes, we're drinking all afternoon. So we said, can we take our boots off? He went, do you want to go for a drink or not? So we all go, we're in the Redback, right, in the Acton, kitted up, names in the back of the jerseys, numbers, ears done. And if you tampered with your kit, you had to go home. We were there for quite a while. But see, try to go home with your boots on. What a nightmare that was. But you know what's good about it? He made, so when there's sometimes, I totally agree with Hogg, and it was really good in amateur days. If there was an issue, you went for a couple of beers, and very quickly somebody go, you're not going to do that again. And they suddenly get sorted out amongst themselves, and they go back to training, and they clear the air. But when you're not in that, I'm not saying you need to have drink to do that, but you need to be able to relax and feel that you can say something, be confident saying it. And I think, the backs would be a classic example. He's an old school rugby player, and he's going, right, I know exactly what these boys need. A couple of beers, and then they speak to each other and say a couple of things that they might not have said in a team meeting, and then coaching's done, move on.
Oh, definitely.
Is that what's going to happen in the cycling team, Hoggy, when you get your 4 hours of kipping on a rugby club floor?
Well, I tell you what we're not going to do, Bruce. I went up and did the charity cycle Melrose in the summer. So we went up on whenever it was Saturday now, and it was the last Lions test. So Dean and I went up to Cortal Ferry. We'll have a couple of quiets with Doddie watching rugby. About 7 or 8 beers in. And then we went to Melrose and we had another 7 or 8 beers. And then we got to the start line Sunday morning, and I was rough as a badgers. And then Dean decides, let's go 60 miles. Let's see if we can gas this 60 miles and set a record. I was absolutely hanging for about 3 hours. I was in all sorts of bits.
It was a bit like we went to Melrose for the Doddie trek to Murrayfield, right? And we all got there. Everybody's like keen as mustard, like we'd never been out before. Well, we hadn't been. We'd been locked up. And we all said, like, we'll take it easy. We've got to walk 35 miles tomorrow. It's going to take us 9-10 hours, right? And Simon Shaw says, well, we'll have 1 beer and we'll get off to bed. 8 or 9 beers later, we get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we walk out and it's starting to rain. We're like, oh, Jesus, why would we do this? We're so old. We know what happens. Why did we do it? But it was a good, we had a bit of genius halfway through, and that actually helped us. Hair of the dog.
Nice little hair of the dog. Kenny, before you go, right, you're my mum's favourite because she read your book
Well,
And
I'm
she
glad
went.
that. So your mum's the person that bought the book. Fantastic. I met that person.
It's
before.
amazing. It's amazing what you can get in the charity shops in Gala, Kenny.
A pound.
But she bought it, and she went and gave Jim Telfer a row because she didn't think he was very nice to you. So before you go, because she does watch this, can you just say, "Hello, Susan, you're my favourite too."
Hello, Susan. I love you more than anything in the world. You're my favourite. Next time I see you, I'm giving you a snog. There you go.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is King Kenny. Thank you,
can
sir.
I just say one thing before I go?
Go for it.
Everyone, keep up the good work. Boys, men, dogs, sheep, whatever you're walking. But if we can try, everyone, if we could just try and sign up one more person, a mate of yours to sign up and join now, we can smash what we did last year. All we're asking is everybody to find a mate, take his bank details. In fact, jump your mate, take his bank details, put the 20 quid in, give him the card back and tell him he's a legend. Right? So cheers to everybody. Thanks for your help and we love your support. Hoggy?
Thank you, Kenny.
Cheers, mate.
King Kenny, Hoggy, some man. The backs have a lot of chat, don't they?
Oh, he never stops, does he? My ears are bleeding. I tell you what, I think that's 25 minutes non-stop. I don't even drew a breath.
I know, and we're going to be a bother because I told Mark Beaumont 8 o'clock and we've only just got rid of Kenny. So, you're excited for this cycle?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's something we talked about in the summer after the charity cycle at Melrose, and then it came up and sort of humming and hawing as you do. Oh, it's February time. It'd be pretty cold and pretty chilly. And it's been good. Yeah, it's been good fun. Done a little bit of training. I'd say Dean's pretty competitive, Dean Ryan. And then originally we are going to try and get Gareth Archer. So it was that Newcastle Falcons sort of link. And Arch pulled out. And then we've got Duncan Hodgett and Craig join us. So we're going to cycle under Melrose Falcons. So we're getting some black and white jerseys with black and white bodies and with the Melrose arms, the black and yellow arms. So looking forward to it.
No, it's class. Hodgie, I see Hodgie a couple of times a week and I think he's up for it. I think he's looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'd just be good crack. It's like anything is, any test is, it bonds people together. There's a little bit of anxiety going into it. But I'm sure once we get in and once we get started, and the main thing, Bruce, I'm captain, so I can delegate who's cycling and when. So I will be pulling rank, by the way. And there's no chance of me cycling in the rain or in the dark. So I reckon I might do a couple of miles out of Murrayfield and a couple of miles into Cardiff should just about do me.
Yeah, for the money shot. I love it. Now, the rumour is that the only reason you're doing this is because the big man blackmailed you, because Kevin Sinfield did a lot for Rob Burrows. And Doddie says, well, if you're my best mate, you need to cycle for Edinburgh at Cardiff.
Completely shamed me. So I actually know Kevin Sinfield from a previous life. I was at Leeds Tykes, and obviously we used to train alongside the Rhinos. So I used to sit in a lot of the meetings, and I was just interested about how they went about their business, and they're really good at some of the basics. So I used to sit and spoke to Kev about how he played, and he was always quite interested and keen. It's interesting now he's made the jump across the Leicester Tigers. So we've always sort of kept in touch. And then, of course, he's doing his 7 marathons, 7 days. I'm like, oh, that's phenomenal. Isn't that great? And then 101 miles. And so Big Weirder comes on the phone and says, hey, Hoggy, what about this then? He's done this and he's done that for his mate. And you've done the square root of hee-haw. So I've got shamed into cycling from Murrayfield to Cardiff. So
I love that he's still Big Weirdo to you. I love that.
Well, yeah, he's unique, but he's in good form at the moment. So he's in good fettle, which is great.
Has he told you what he's up to on Friday morning?
No, go on, enlighten me.
On Friday morning, you'll know Newtown St Boswell's very well, the Scottish Borders Council headquarters building, and they have flagpoles there. So we've organised for a Team South flag to be made, and it will be unveiled at 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and the big man's going to be there for the unfurling and the raising of the flag. How cool is that?
Well, that's excellent, isn't it? It's good. It's good.
So hopefully that's going to drum up a wee bit more. Now, we spoke between, I think, Christmas and New Year. and you hadn't signed up for Doddie Aid.
No, I've signed up.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
I've got the app, man. I'll prove it. I've got the app. I'm just not very techie. You know, that's for the younger generation. I've been putting my miles in.
Agreed. I'm pleased. And what are the boys at Gloucester saying? You had some quality videos with you and Waltz.
Yeah, big Peter Walton's down there now. So actually, Waltz played with Doddie at Newcastle and with Scotland quite a bit. So yeah, Waltz and I are down there. So it's good at the moment. First team are travelling really well. We've got some young kids coming through the system. So yeah, it's pointing in the right direction, which is pleasing.
Yeah, Waltz is a top man, isn't he?
I was going to go back. You mentioned Ken McEwen earlier. So Ken won the Glasgow Award. So Ken was my fitness coach at Edinburgh. And as Kenny quite rightly said, I was always recovering from shoulder operations. And I used to do single coaching with Ken in Saughton. There's a 400 metre track. And Ken was actually high quality. I think it was a 400 metre Commonwealth Games runner. And so I used to do these 300s and on 12 300s. And Ken used to run the last 100 with me. Relax, Hoggy, relax. I tell you what, I had a pound for every time he said that, and I would have absolutely backed him. Fair play. Ken was phenomenal to me because I say I was always returning from surgery, and I had spent a lot of time with Ken. He's a brilliant bloke and a brilliant condition. I'm not surprised he's doing the miles he's done.
He's got a big heart, and it's another sign he's probably not spoken to Doddie for a while, but he wants to get involved and he wants to contribute, and that's been a great thing, hasn't it? You've probably caught up with people you've not spoken to for a while.
Yeah, that's right, and that's, as Kenny says, is the net goes far and wide, doesn't it? You know, whether it's in Scotland, in the UK. You know, I'm very fortunate. I've got one of Doddie's scarves, and the amount of people that will say, "Oh, is that Doddie's tartan?" Blah blah blah, and it's been great, and you know, credit, and you know, got to take your hat off to guys like Kenny and the foundation. They've worked extremely hard, and they are making a difference, and that's the main thing. And it's you're going back to the professors and Sean. I was very fortunate to be up at Drumlanrig about a couple of months ago with the professors, and Doddie being Doddie. Oh, we're getting some money now. There's no excuses now. There's no excuses now. And his inevitable way. So, but it sounds as if there's definitely making some traction and making some headway.
He's some boy. He's holding people to account. Well, I think we need to bring Mark Beaumont in because he might have some tips for you for the cycling, especially if you're the captain. Now, Mark, if I could present a medal, it would be for this man. Your commitment, Mark Beaumont, is outstanding to Doddie Aid. How are you enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it hugely. I'm sort of rallied by all the social media, all the banter. The last 2 Saturdays, we've got a ride out around Arthur Seat in Edinburgh. So we've actually got to meet real people who are out there and got amazing stories to share. And it's been really heartening to hear why people are involved. How many people have got a connection to MND and the big man himself and Davey Ziv and all the others that we know well and love. So it's one thing sort of, you know, driving your own miles and fundraising, but it's another when you connect up with others. And I think turning this from a virtual event into something that you can actually buddy up has been wonderful over the last few weeks. But by way of introduction, this is not my living room.
I thought it was a virtual background. So you're in Spain just now?
Yeah, I'm in Spain. I'm in a steak restaurant near Alicante. And so there's some diners who are very politely ignoring me in the background. And we've got a chap here cutting some prime cuts. So apologies for the slightly less professional setup.
We love it. So have you got any tips for Hoggy for his 500-mile cycle?
Buy some lights.
Hoggy, do you take inspiration from people like Mark and Chris Hoy and the guys that have been doing it and then seeing people out on their bikes?
Oh, it's phenomenal. And yeah, I've watched cycling Tour de France for years and years now, and it's amazing. I went on holiday, and the only thing that was on telly on an afternoon was Eurosport, was Tour de France. And then once you get into it and understand it and the elements within the peloton, it's just a fascinating sport. And the pain that these domestiques go through for, you for the benefit of the team leader is phenomenal. It is phenomenal.
I've been out. The reason I'm out here this week, Hoggy, is I'm out with Nova Nordis, which is a pro cycling team, and they're a fascinating bunch because they're all type 1 diabetic, and so they've got athletes performing at the top level, but also overcoming diabetes, and it's fascinating to hear that drive and the inspiration and the education behind what they're doing. And I think athletes who aren't just trying to smash it and be the best they can, but also have a real purpose around what they're doing. There's nothing more inspiring. And I mean, I'm from the ultra endurance world. I've pedaled the planet a couple of times, but going out riding with these young lads, they're just chewing my legs off. I mean, I've been riding around the hills here the last couple of days, and I mean, the speed that they climb up these hills is something. It's one thing watching it on the telly, but when you actually try and hold their wheel, it is next level. I mean, like anything done well in sport, and I'm sure you'll it's one thing watching it and appreciating it, but when you actually try and go toe to toe and keep up with these guys or girls, it's just so impressive, so humbling.
So, Hoggy, I take it Dean Ryan, Duncan Hodge, and Jackie Joyner are your domestiques.
Correct. Well, the thing is, it's a really, like I said, Bruce, it's a really. I'm not doing the 520, although I think Rob's intending to do the whole lot, isn't he? Rob Wainwright.
Yeah,
I think he's going to go the whole leg. So, when you talk about endurance, Mark, back in the day, and I know it's not the same, but in rugby we used to do a bleep test, the 100-meter bleep test, and I'll come on to the point. Is so you'd start in August, we'll go up to SIU and it'd be Scotland camp, and we do this testing, this endurance testing of this 100 meters, and sort of 16, 17 was a good score. So I think it was 17 seconds length of field, 20 seconds rest, repeat until you don't hit the line. So you got there, and everybody's trying to put a marker down, everybody's competitive. So Doddie would pitch up. He'd shamble about 10 and then he'd pull the pin. He'd be like, oh, I'm broken 10. And you try and stagger to 16 or 17. Fair play to Rob Wainwright. He'd be like 25 and they'd switch the machine off because he was just hardly broken sweat. And then we'd get to the start of Six Nations and they'd retest. And Weirder would go from about 10 up to about 17 and be like, oh, he's put so much work and effort into his fitness. Look how much he's improved every single year. He used to just absolute cruise the first test, and then the improvement going to Six Nations. Wasn't so daft, young Mr. Weir.
He's not as daft as we all thought. Hoggy, we're going to have to let you go and refuel and get back on the bike and get a good kip and all that, because it's not far away.
No,
we'll see you for the ride out at Murrayfield. It looks like a big crowd, and it's going to be a fantastic send-off. I know there's a bunch of people wanting to ride out the first miles with us, and it's going to be a triumphant pedal down to Wales. So I look forward to riding alongside you. Yeah,
Mark, you'll be about 3 days in front of me, and it's only a 2-day ride, so don't worry about that, my friend. I'll be right behind you.
Cheers, Hoggy. Good to see you. So, man, Mark, you blow me away every single time. You're engaging on social media, you're meeting up with people to go around Arthur's Seat, you're inspiring young Caleb to get all the way out to North Berwick, you're on the shows. What is it that's gripped you about this? Because you've got so many other things to do and places to be. And
yeah, but I mean, crikey, it's not about me. I'm not just being humble, but everyone that puts heart and mind behind Doddie Aid, is doing so around busy family lives. And I think there's a wonderful, because it was slightly born out of lockdown, I think it was a wonderful antidote to the community that we were missing. And there's so much to, starting the year on the right foot, doing something in terms of your well-being, but actually shifting the dial in terms of research and caring for those who have MND. So, I didn't play with these guys. I've got to sort of know so many of the rugby legends over the years of doing what we're doing with the foundation. But clearly, I've lived my own life as a pro athlete, and it was really Rob, good old Rob, like the rest of us, dragged me into this. I was going to say screaming and kicking, but I knew Rob for years before any of this daftness came up, and I remember him saying to me, "Mark, why don't we ride the match ball from Murrayfield to Twickenham in February for the Calcutta Cup?" And I was all right. Yeah, that sounds all right. What's the date? I should be able to do that. And when he said the date, and I said, I'm booked for a gig. I'm speaking in Stirling. And he said, well, that's all right, actually, because it's not quite 500 miles, and I want to make it 500 miles. So actually going via Stirling makes a lot of sense. Now, makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you one thing. When we were going north across the Forth Road Bridge, carrying the match ball to Twickenham, that didn't make a lot of sense. And it was just pissing it down. We had headwind, and it was all planned out brilliantly. So we'd have a big kip on the Friday night before the game, and then we'd ride the final 100 miles into Murrayfield. We didn't sleep at all, really, because it was just so brutal. It was such a wild ride. And we got there, and it was that triumphant match where we were down until the half time, and then we came back to the draw. And I was sat between Kelly Brown and Rob Wainwright, hearing this ongoing commentary. And, despite being cross-eyed tired, it was just such a privilege to be involved. And during that ride, when you're 48 hours hearing the stories of old and the kinship with those players, and of course what Doddie's facing, whilst I'd agreed to help Rob, I wasn't at that point connected to what Doddie was going through. But through the ride, through spending quality time with the big man since, it's been a real privilege to be involved over the years. And I remember saying to Rob afterwards, how do we turn this daft ride, which very few people would want to do, into something that everyone can get involved in? And that's clearly the inspiration for Doddie Aid, and as we now know it. So, long answer to your short question, but it's just been a ton of fun. It's nice to make a difference, but honestly, what I get out of it is a lot more than what I give. Is a wonderful community of people out there making a big difference.
You're just magnificent. I love it, and I love how engaged you are and how humble you are. You made a throwaway comment to Hoggy there. I've pedalled the planet a couple of times.
Well,
can anything else match up to that? Are you always striving for the next thing?
Oh, it is a problem. When I meet people now, it doesn't matter what I do in my life. Oh, you're that guy that cycled around the world. But I'm okay with that, because there's worse things to be known for. If you're going to be notorious for something, half interesting. I first pedaled around the planet when I was 23 and trying to avoid becoming an accountant. And then I did it another when I was about 35 to try and smash it out the park and take it to a level where hopefully nobody will touch it for a few years. Records are there to be broken, but that was 78 days, 14 hours and 40 minutes for those that care about numbers. It's an 18,000 mile race around planet Earth, and that really was all in. That was absolutely all my cards on the table. 1,100 hours of time trialing, so I won't be doing that again.
The book is excellent.
Oh, cheers, buddy.
The book is top drawer. Mark, I just love it. Now, come on, tell me all about you're kind of going to do it again. You want everybody to join in and pedal around the world with you.
Yeah, and before I just say that, I saw that Janice from the Arran Bells, which is a lady cycling club in the Isle of Arran, just posted a comment saying that, there it is, saying that they've been out and smashed a 240 miler today. I assume that's between them. But the 240, for those that are new to the concept, the 240 is the magic number that you need to do. That's one day of the circumnavigation world record. So if you want to experience, one day of pedaling around the planet, basically what you need to do every single day for 2.5 months, world in a day. So well done, Janice. Well done, the Arran Bells. They put in some phenomenal mileage through wind and rain and hail all year round. And on Saturday, we have an army, a peloton of people taking part on that challenge. We've run it 6 times before. It's amazing how many dafties are out there wanting to test themselves and see what they're capable of. And that's the challenge. So we run this event virtually. So you're on your turbos in your kitchen or in your garage, and you're sat there and you think, oh, how boring is this going to be? I'm just going to do this insane turbo session. But actually, the event happens on Zoom. So it's this virtual peloton, a screen full of people. And all day long, we have amazing guests joining us to inspire, to entertain, to share their stories. So every 45 minutes to an hour, people jump on. In between times, you're chatting to each other like you would be on a bike ride. So if you've not experienced it, it's hard to explain, but we've done it many times before, and it is a phenomenal day. Now, some people, that gold standard, that ridiculous 240 miles is just a wee bit too punchy. So some people go for 20 miles or 50 miles or 100 miles. but make it hard. Make it something which is a genuine challenge and worth fundraising for. This year we've got Sir Steve Redgrave, we've got Dame Catherine Granger, Sir Chris Hoy, who has done an amazing job this year and last for Doddie Aid, regularly running events on Zwift. So we've got JJ Chalmers, Jason Fox, loads of people joining us, and we'll be running it from 6 a.m. through till 8 p.m. It's open all day long, but you do need to register. So for all the Doddie Aiders, sorry, busy restaurant here, for all the Doddie Aiders who are out there, who are also keen cyclists, this is a great community event. It's a ton of fun, but you do need to register to get all the links, and it's worldinaday.com.
Brilliant. You mentioned JJ Chalmers there. I've been starstruck very few times, and well, I'm starstruck often, but where I didn't have the guts to say anything. One was when I met you in the box at Murrayfield when you were in with Doddie for, I think it was a Georgia game.
That was great.
Yeah, it was great. But you were of all the people that were in there, you were the one that I was like, oh my God, that's Mark Beaumont. And JJ Chalmers was, I think he was having a muffin in a wee place out in East Lothian. And I walked into a bakery and I was like, that's JJ Chalmers. That's JJ Chalmers. And I used to work with JJ Chalmers' brother. But the two of you blow my mind. So JJ Chalmers link then, Mark, of all the things you've done, when are you going to be on Strictly?
Well, my kids, I've got 2 daughters, 8 and 5. They couldn't care less that I've cycled around the world twice. All they want me to do is Strictly. They couldn't care less. When I came back from the second trip, I was home. I'd missed them. I'd been away for 2.5 months, and I was tucking Harriet into bed about a few weeks after I got back, and I said, "Harriet, is it good to have Daddy home?" She said, "Yes, Daddy, but you keep saying that." And she was just like, "Get back down to earth, Daddy. I don't care that you've cycled around the world. You've got a job to do here. Get busy with being Dad." So the kids are great, aren't they? No, I mean they're both dancers, and they'd love me to. I'm very flattered by your comment. Do it. I'm not that level. I'm not that coordinated, and I'm not that famous. So for both of those reasons, I don't think I'm going to be getting the call. But I can do a mean gay Gordon's.
Yeah, well, I think there's somebody coming on now who might know some people to know some people. So I think we're going to try and get your name in, because I would love to see you on Strictly. I think it would be magnificent.
In sequence. I'm quite used to lycra, so it's just a short step, isn't it?
See, I think you would handle it no problem at all. Mark, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you. Enjoy Spain. Enjoy Saturday. Keep going. You are absolute inspiration on a bike.
You're a gentleman. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my man. I just love how fully invested he is and how humble he is to say what he gets back is more than he puts in. But he puts in a hell of a lot. He's always on social media. He's drumming up support. He's responding to people. He's getting people out on their bikes. That's the good stuff. And this thing that we're doing, this Doddie Aid thing that we're doing, we want to find that cure. We want to have a good time while we're doing it. We want to raise pennies. And it's people like Mark Beaumont that are drumming everything up, the miles, the money, the enthusiasm. One of life's good guys. Now, it's time. That's right. She's back. I didn't think it was going to happen. I asked for week 1. Asked Lorraine off the telly. Yes.
Hello, Bruce. How are you doing?
I'm sorry we've kept you waiting because you've got to get up early in the morning.
That's been so interesting. We've got to get Mark on Strictly.
Yes.
We've got to get him on Strictly. He would be amazing, don't you think?
Yeah. Who would the partner be though?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Johannes is really good.
Yeah.
Johannes is really good. He's a smashing fella. But I'm not sure. I need to think about that because we don't want any shenanigans. You know what happens in Strictly?
No, I don't think Harriet would allow that to happen. I think Mark should be with. I think Katja and Mark would be a good matchup.
Yes,
they're both
exciting. They're competitive in a very good way. They would use that.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I think you could speak to some people and make that happen because you're Lorraine off the telly, and you must be one of the most powerful people in television. Have you got a big button in the studio that
I've got
can
a big
make people
butt.
appear or disappear.
I've got a huge big butt. That's why I'm out walking my dogs right now. That's I'm not being very good. I did though, to be fair, I did do wild water swimming for Doddie age.
Did
I
you?
did do it, but I didn't do enough because, in my defence, it was stupid. Health and safety made me wear a wetsuit, and you can't swim in a wetsuit. It's impossible. So I'm going to do it again and not have the wetsuit on and see if I can get up more miles and get more money.
Just your bikini on.
Oh, at my time of life, it's an all-in-one. In fact, do you remember those girls in Edwardian things and they wore hats in it?
Not at all.
So yeah, but I'm out walking, I'm out doing, and I'm just trying to tell everybody all about it. It's such a, do you know, it's been so lovely. You know, the longer it sort of goes on, that sense of community. You know, it's Kenny was talking about that, how it's everybody sort of wanting to help and all being in the same. It's like we're in a gang, a really good club. And we want more members of the club, but it's a very, very nice club to be part of, isn't it?
Do you know what I hope for Doddie 2023 is that we can have a gang hut. Because
Yes.
we need to meet up. Well, last year we spoke about having Doddie Fest where we would all meet up, and we're still not really allowed those things. But we need a gang hut.
I like that, and I like the whole Doddie Fest idea because we can get bands playing, and we can do lots of things, and we can get lots of this.
I don't know that one.
I love this.
Well, Saturday night on the curry night, Ricky Ross played a wee tune on his piano for Doddie. We had Ali Cunningham. We had Bruce McGregor playing the fiddle. We had Doogie Vipond causing havoc. So it would, and Scary Four last year did stuff. Nicola Benedetti is on Doddie's stream.
God, class. So we've got all these people in our gang anyway. So there we are. It's done.
I'm still expecting the gang hut password to be changed, and I'm not allowed in.
You'll be allowed in. You know that. You'll be allowed. It's so nice to see you and so nice to talk to you. And I loved that. I really enjoyed that wee chat with everybody. It was just so positive. That's the thing.
Last year I dared you to do something, and now when you said happiness is egg-shaped, and Andy Peters even said happiness is egg-shaped. That's now, I know you listen to my podcast every week religiously, Lorraine, but you skipped the first bit. And it's on the intro to my podcast, you going, last night I was speaking to my pal Bruce, and he said happiness is egg-shaped. And you've no idea how happy that made such a small, bald man. I'm so happy with that.
Iona says Doddie Fest in the Borders. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That would make sense. Then everybody could come from all parts of the UK.
It would have to be camping because we've still not got a very big hotel in the Borders, so it would have to be proper camping.
Glamp, whatever that is.
Yeah.
We could glamp.
Aye. Did he give me that? Did he give me that Miss 5-star TV? Did he give me that nonsense glamping?
No, that would be good. No, we have to.
Or what's the big park in Dundee that had BBC One's big weekend? What's that?
Right, in the waterfront. Yeah, right there. Judith Strachan's just said it has to be in sunny Dundee because obviously Dundee is the sunniest city in Scotland. It's
we love Dundee, and your good man's up the stairs watching Dundee United's game just now. He's not even watching you.
I've no looked at the scores. I don't know what the score is. He's up watching the funny shape ball game. the round one. But happiness is round shaped.
No, it's not. How does it feel to be captain?
It's great, it's really good, and we're actually doing really, really well, which is fantastic. I'm loving that. Our gang's doing fantastic well, and I quite like that there's the competition as well. I think that's very good. It's sporty. We're not getting arsey about it or anything, but there's honour to be had, and I do like that, and I think it's been fantastic, hasn't it? And we're so close, and we're getting closer and closer, and obviously anything anybody can give is just brilliant, and the way everybody's just rallied round, it's great, Bruce. It really is. It's that, like I said, it is that sense of togetherness, and we are in a gang.
And the numbers, you're talking numbers, the money that's been raised already and the distance that's been travelled, there's a lot of people putting in a lot of effort, and a lot of them have never even met Doddie.
I know, but this is the thing, isn't it? The way that he touches so many people, even if you probably weren't a massive fan of rugby, but it's like when when he's playing on the show, we were lucky enough. What it's like with blinking COVID, you can't get guests in the studio very often. It's really difficult, and obviously he's we have to protect him because he's vulnerable. We have to protect him, of course. But just he's just one of these people walks in a room and the room just lights up. It's such an amazing thing to have. To be somebody that you walk into the room and everybody smiles. Or you get into the room and everybody smiles. When you are there, everybody feels better. And the sense of humour and the cheekiness and the naughtiness, it's just lovely. It really is. And what he's done is extraordinary. Extraordinary.
And although he's a big daft lump and he's cheeky and he's holding people to account. He's he's stamping his feet and he's making things happen. He does not suffer fools.
See, I really like that because I think that's a human being, because a lot of people say, oh, and it's almost like you make somebody out to be a saint, and he's absolutely not. He's hilarious and incredible, but he's like all of us, he can be stubborn and he can be all these things, and that's good. He wants to give all of us a kick up the arse and say, right, come on, get it. We're so nearly there. It's just this extra push, and that's what we need. That's what we need. So I salute that. I absolutely do. I think it's great.
It does feel like we're on the cusp of something. And Sean McGrath, who I think he's actually messaged in, he's been on the board here. Sean McGrath is one of those people who was able to explain on Saturday night about MND. He was able to explain about what's going on, and that statement that he said that people have said back to me about it's not incurable, it's underfunded.
I love that.
I don't really understand where this money goes, but if he's telling us we need more money, then that's what has to drive us.
And it's almost like he was saying we're nearly there, we just got over the line, isn't it? It's that kind of thing. But I loved what he said about that because it's that thing of, and doesn't it just drive you crazy? I was going past in London. I don't know if you've heard of this mad thing. It cost about 8 million quid, and it's basically a lump. It's a big dod of nothing in marble art, and it would make it just make me
a big dod of nothing.
It's a big dod of nothing, and I thought, can you imagine what we could have done for MND with that money? Can you imagine? And you just think, what in the hell? All them parties that they had. Just do that. I mean, it's just that you kind of go. But having said that, it'll be all the sweeter because it'll be people that really, really have believed in this and believed in Doddie and believed in what he wants and what he wants to achieve, and that'll make it all the better. That'll make it all the better, I think. And you're right. We are nearly there. Amazing.
When you're out and about with your snood on.
Yes.
Has anybody commented? Has anybody seen that as the icebreaker to speak to Lorraine off the telly?
There's one of our security guys who instantly went, my son is part of that. My son's doing something for that. And it is good. And actually, I use it as a mask as well, which is great. Just use it as a face covering. So I use it as that too.
Do you know what I find handy, Lorraine? That although I've not racked up the miles of certain people and I'm not Zwifting with Chris Hoy and doing 500 miles with Carol Hogg, but what I have done is I've lost my double chin.
Isn't it fabulous?
Invisible. It is invisible. How good is that? How much better is that?
Yet another fantastic benefit of being part of the gang. That you're double chin.
Being part of the gang.
Chris Hoy the best as well. Chris Hoy's been doing fantastic things. I've been reading all about that. He's just it just brings out all of this. Just brings out the best in people as well.
Isn't it hilarious though that this thing, this Doddie thing, this Rob Wainwright weird daydream fantasy, and Rob has many of them, and he makes them happen. But we've got Steve Redgrave and Catherine Granger and Chris Hoy and Lorraine Offelli and Mark Beaumont and Gabby Logan, and we had Lee McKenzie and Jenny Faulkner. Everybody's just so willing to get involved.
Absolutely, it really is. It's an honour. I know that I really mean that. I really do, and that there are certain things that you just. Of course, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Because it's helping somebody who's so fantastic, and it's doing something really positive. I think at a time when we need that in our lives right now, we need to have a little bit of light, because it has been, the past couple of years have been really just weird.
Yeah.
Just weird. I think we're all a wee bit weary, and we're all a wee bit. And then there's something that you can do, and you can actually make a difference. And I mean, obviously, for goodness sake, I mean, Mark, but he's gone around the world twice on a bike. That is.
Aye. And
It's
the way he says it, it's like he's gone down to the co-op for a pint of milk.
Exactly. Exactly. It's making out for the messages. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Do you in your showbiz world, do you still say you're going out for the messages?
They don't sometimes they don't really understand what I'm saying. And sometimes I find if I say a word and they go, "What are you talking about?" Like I said, thrown. You know what I mean? The example of thrown is Big Doddie, isn't it? Thrown. And I was trying to describe thrown in English, and you can't really, because it's so much more than being stubborn and brave and forthright and staunch. You know, a lot of our Scottish words are like that, aren't they? That you can't. We know what it is immediately. But see, when you try to put it into English, it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. But I've thought all my gang know all the Scottish-isms. And it's really funny when they come out with them.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in your studio, because I think it would just feel like a bit of a coffee morning.
It's
just
hilarious.
Everybody having a grand old time, feeling relaxed. Lorraine's in.
We're lucky we enjoy it, and you know what it's like. You set the tone. If it's got your name on it, you need to set the tone. And I just always want everybody to have a really nice time, and everybody to walk away feeling that they've done a really good job. Unless, of course, you happen to be a politician, in which case it's fair to get your arse booted, no matter what. You deserve it, or if you're somebody that deserves it, then that's fine. But always give people an opportunity to put their point of view, and then you can go in with the
Who would you like to have on? Who have you not? You've had some pretty spectacular guests. Who would you love to have on?
You're so lucky with the people that have come on. Have been amazing. I'd love to talk to Michelle Obama. I think she'd be really interesting.
That would be priceless. You two would
because I think
priceless.
She's a proper woman, you know, and she's a women's woman as well. So that would be really good. I would really like that. I think she's fascinating. But yeah, that would be good. Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, I think would be good, because I think there's a wee feisty girl in there, but you always just see, oh, they're lovely and it's all very nice and everything. I'd really like to sort of find out what makes her tick. It would be interesting. Yeah.
But I think that would be brilliant. I like that. Lorraine and Michelle. ITV somebody must be typing an email right now.
Be nice, wouldn't it? And she's great as well. She's done such a lot of things, and you know, it's talking to people that have got a bit about them as well is interesting. You know, that
I think they should fly you to. I think it's Chicago. The Obamas are from, isn't it?
She can share our tent. You know, when we're doing Doddie Aid and we're doing the Doddie test for Doddie Aid. So
keep that bloody noise doing, you two. Who's in there? Oh, it's Michelle Obama and Lorraine. Oh.
And Bruce as well.
Oh, hey. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is good night.
I think that would work. I would quite like that.
Well, I tell you what, I think I'm going to have to go for a lie down, Lorraine.
No, what did you want? What was my challenge? You said you had a challenge.
Right.
For
well,
me.
I think the challenge tomorrow. I would love it to be selfish, but I think I need to get over that one. I got my happiness as egg shape last week. So the buff that you're wearing needs to be strategically placed somewhere so that we can play. Oh no, sorry, not a buff. The snood. So tomorrow, people who are watching Lorraine need to play Spot the Snood.
Spot the Snood. I'm trying to think.
Now, if Louise Redknapp's on tomorrow and she was wearing it, you would make a lot of people very happy.
What do you want her just to wear this and nothing else?
Oh, hey! This is taking a dive, hasn't it? It's you. I'll get the blame for this, but this has been 100% Lorraine off the telly.
Well, she is on, but I think let me see what I can do. I will do it. I will definitely do it. It's going to happen.
Because she'll be on doing fashion, won't she? She'll be doing.
She is doing fashion tomorrow. Lovely Louise is absolutely.
I think she should be wearing that snood.
Yeah, let's try and see if we can do that. I think that could work. Or is there anybody else that might be even? I wonder if Dr. Amir would wear it as well. We'll think of something.
Tomorrow we're going to play Spot the Snood on Lorraine. Right, spot the snood. In
That
fact,
could be a whole game show that we've just invented a fantastic form.
let's have hashtag spot the snood. There, it's gone. Spot the snood is now up and running.
And it doesn't count if I just do that. That's not going to be that's a bit obvious. We should maybe make it a little bit more difficult than that.
Yeah, I'll make it a challenge. I like that. I love it. I love it. Oh, hang on. Sean Phelan's piped up. How much is it worth, Bruce? Right. So last year, I think I paid 50 quid for you to say happiness is egg shape. So I'll match that. 50 quid if Lorraine can get the snood on Lorraine on the telly.
I know, and I'll match whatever you match. So that's doubled already. So that's good. That's good.
Right, we're in. Lorraine, I could be here all night, but you've got to get up early in the morning.
Oh no, it's so good to talk to you. It really is. And
come on then. So you're a pro at this. Come on, how did I do?
Very good. It was. Do you know what it was? It was just like a conversation. And I'll tell you, the key, which you do, is you listen. Because so many interviews.
What was that?
So you're like that. What? But they don't. So many interviewers don't listen. They don't. They're too busy thinking of their next question, or just thinking just their hair look nice.
And so well, I can't do that one, and I didn't do any preparation. So
that's the best way. Just
I have to listen. I have to listen. Otherwise, this would have been about 15 minutes long. Lorraine, I just love it. I absolutely love it. You have been such a good supporter. And tomorrow we're going to spot the snood. So before you go, Glenn McLennan from Orkney got the award tonight. Glenn is a magnificent human. I love him to bits. Orkney are doing so much. The North and Midlands are doing so much. I'd like you to do two things before you go. One, praise your team. And two, give us a rocket to get us going.
Well, my team, you are doing fantastically well. I'm incredibly proud of you. I think you're extraordinary, but we just need a bit more effort from absolutely everybody, just that little bit of extra from everybody. And we can do this, and we can do this. And do you know what? We're going to do it next year, and we're going to have Doddie Fest, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. But this year is going to be special too. So just do it, and thank you so much, everybody, for all the effort, all the sore legs and the sore bums and the sore heads. It's just great. It really is. Good to be proud of I'm just proud to be in the gang.
Well, I can't believe I'm in the same gang as Lorraine off the telly.
I'm in my gang. You're gang leader.
Oh, right. That's my next T-shirt. Have you read Doddie's book? Have you read Doddie's book?
Yes. Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
So he said, I might add at this point the efforts of Bruce Aitchison, perhaps better known as Happiness is Egg-Shaped, kept up people's interest in the whole thing with a running commentary and some great interviews. This will be scanned and on a T-shirt before you know it. So I got it scanned and put on a T-shirt.
Well, of course you did. I'd have been very disappointed if you hadn't.
I couldn't believe that I made it into the book, and I went into the wee independent bookshop in Edinburgh, and I'm coming out with a book, and I bumped into Jim Hamilton, and he said, "Where have you been?" I said, "I've just bought this." I said, "I think I'm in it." And I said, "You're in it as well." He went, "Why am I in it?" So Jim went and bought a copy as well.
Fantastic. That's the way to sell books. Just do a book with everybody's name in it that you've ever known. Yeah. The best seller.
Lorraine Kelly, you're going to be in my book.
Oh, God bless you, Bruce. Great to talk to you. Really good. And I'll get my snood done. And anything else you need, just give us a shout.
Thank you, Lorraine. We love you.
Thank you. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Bye-bye. I'm in Lorraine Kelly's gang. And you heard it here first. When we have Doddie Fest, I'm in the same tent as Lorraine and Michelle Obama. I'm getting that on a T-shirt too. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've absolutely loved it. We've gone a wee bit over, but it's not every Wednesday that you get Lorraine off the telly, and she's staying up late just for us, just for Doddie. folks, how good has this been? We've had brilliant guests. We had King Kenny on. We had Hoggy, who is trying to prove to Doddie that he's still his best mate by cycling 500 miles. We then had the one and the only Mark Beaumont, who, as you can see, I've got a bit of a hashtag man crush on. And then we had Lorraine off the telly. Thank you to Genius for their continued support. Thank you to Sam, who's backstage pushing the buttons and pulling the strings. To Sean, who's there, always helping us out and giving me a bit of stick on the comments. Thank you to you for all your efforts. Well done to the award winners, prize winners. Please send us your details so that Genius can get your prizes out to you. Keep going. Please keep going. There's been so much so far, but we're only halfway there, so please stick with us. We've got more live shows. We've got World in a Day on Saturday. Get on your bike and get pedaling. Join Mark Beaumont and all those great guests and have a bit of chat to them. What other event can you go to where you can get that direct contact with some of this country's greats? Sporting greats, entertainment greats, all pulling in the same direction as you and as me. Let's get involved. We've got a dog walk coming. We've got the cycle. We've got a Calcutta Cup to win. We've got all sorts. Stay with us. It is brilliant. And why are we doing it? Because we need pennies, people. We need pennies. Sign people up. Sign your mate. You heard them before. Sign up your buddy. And let's get some pennies to find a cure for this thing they call MND. All in the name of Doddie Weir, the man we are here for and we love. And he's inspiring us all. Keep going. Keep engaging with us on social media. Well done to all the reps who are keeping the social media going. It is very, very much appreciated. I have loved tonight again. I am very honoured to be here and I hope you'll be back next Wednesday because it's got to be better than Coronation Street. But for now, get out on your bike. Doddie Aid is here. We're halfway there. My name is Bruce Aitchison. My happiness is egg-shaped and I can't wait to see you all very, very soon. Good night.